this one. I'm gonna record this one because this is a pretty good one. Let's
The
do it.
real reason why so many Americans are going to stay broke for the rest of their lives and never have a chance to build any sort of wealth. And no, this has nothing to do with how much money you make, with what job you have, with what degree you have, with what skin color you are, or with who's in the White House. And it has a lot to do with the dumb decisions that you're making. Now, I didn't want to make this video, but I thought that some people can learn from the dumb decisions of others. That way they can make better decisions with their money, because Fortune magazine just put out a new report. The title of this article is Americans are spending big on cars and gadgets, and they're going into debt to do it. I've linked it.
Yeah, that's never a good idea if that's what he's leaning in on. You definitely don't want to be going into debt just to get the newest cars and tech. Like, there's plenty of good stuff on used. That's a lot less, and you really don't need to go into debt for it.
For you down in the description. Now, it's not surprising
That's
or
not
any
a good
news
idea.
that Americans are spending money they don't have. But as I started to dig deeper into this report and other articles,
Like, I got a 20
what I
year old car.
realized is that we have three themes of things happening right now. Number one, Americans are feeling like the prices of things are not rising as fast as before. And so to celebrate, Americans have been ratcheting up their spending. Number two, Americans have become very accustomed to this luxury lifestyle over the last few years. Partially because there was a lot of free money going out, so people became very used to this nicer, lavish luxury lifestyle. And now many people can't afford that same luxury lifestyle as before. And instead of downsizing, they're making other sacrifices or going deeper and deeper into debt to continue living this luxury lifestyle that they can't afford, which is actually...
Yeah, I mean, I agree with him for sure. I mean, I live in a one-bedroom apartment with my fiance, and we pay a little over $1,000 a month in rent. And it's a small apartment, but you know what? It's a roof over your head. It heats and cools you. It's got necessities that we want. It's got a washer and a dryer. It's got a dishwasher. It's good value for the money. Like, you really, there's a lot of things that you really don't need. Needs and wants. You don't need a huge home that you can't afford. You don't need a nice car that you can't, like, if you can't afford it, you shouldn't be buying it, right? Like, that's a big rule of thumb. Like, what I would recommend for cars is saving a big down payment. And if you don't have the money, go find a beater. Go find a beater for $800-900 and go buy it. You can find beaters that run. Like, I mean, yeah, I agree. Like,
keeping them broke. And number three, people are very excited or scared about the Trump presidency. And these emotions are driving people to make very dumb decisions. The people that are very excited about the Trump presidency are going out and celebrating by spending money they don't have, because they think the economy is going to boom in 2025. The people that are very scared and anxious about the Trump presidency think that Trump is going to destroy the world, the country, and the economy. So they're doom spending their money.
Oh,
Now
okay.
you can start
So
to see why this is really
makes
stupid.
sense.
Because we have control over how much wealth that we build. I mean, yeah, there are external factors. Don't get me wrong. Banks profit off you being in debt. They want you in debt. I get it. Corporations want you to spend money. They spend billions of dollars to get you to spend money. I get it. The government profits off of you being financially uneducated. They profit off of you being in student loans. I get it. But you also have a choice now. You have a choice with what you do with your money. And I get it. America is a consumerism culture. I mean, our whole economy runs on spending. Everybody wants to spend money and have the nice things today. But this is where you got to decide and make a decision of what you want to do, because so many people are shooting themselves in the foot and then blaming everybody else. Because let me tell you how the economy actually works. Our economy runs on you spending money. And not just that, it runs on you spending money you don't have. We live in a credit-based economy.
We live in a
That means
debt-based
the more
economy.
you spend, the more somebody else makes. Every dollar you spend is a dollar somebody else earns. So when you go to Gucci and you spend $1,000, Gucci's making the $1,000. But here's the kicker. When you go to Gucci and you spend $1,000 through debt, now Gucci's making the $1,000 and your baker is getting rich, and it's all at your expense. Now, I'm not against you buying nice things. I'm not against you having nice things. I'm not against you buying luxury things. I'm not against you buying a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, and I'll put myself on blast here. I'm in no way like a financial advisor, and I've made stupid financial decisions, but I think this is a great video to help people not be in debt, right? I learn from me. If you ever have a credit card, don't ever go over your monthly income in terms of your credit limit. That's what I personally would recommend. So if you make 2,000 a month, never go over 1,000. That way you can pay that off, and you can always pay it off. And if you need to use that credit card, you can use that credit card. But I wouldn't recommend utilizing that credit card. If anything, I would recommend having a very low credit limit, like $500 to $800, and building a good habit that way. That way, if you overspend, you're not in debt forever, because that is a huge trap that a lot of people, and I've gotten into it too. My credit union sent me an email and they're like, "Oh, hey, we seen that you're paying your credit card off on time. We're gonna give you a credit limit increase. You don't have to do anything. You can now spend 3,000." Well, I wasn't making 3,000. Now I fell into the trap, and now I have to pay that off. So don't do what I did. I would highly recommend just sticking to like $500-800 of a credit limit and just telling the bank, no, 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 I do not want this, no, and build saving money, prioritize saving your money, budget your money. And I don't know the name of this YouTuber. He says this all the time. I've learned a lot from him. So, you don't need to be successful immediately, but putting the steps into motion will eventually lead to success.
I just want you to afford it.
Yeah.
But here's the problem. That word afford is very difficult to understand. Because if you want to go out and buy that $5,000 purse, you better have at least $25,000 in your bank account.
Yep.
Now you're going to say, whoa. What are you talking about, Jaspreet? If I want to buy a $5,000 purse, I just need $1,000 in my bank account because I can afford the line of credit. Well, let's assume that you're a little bit more financially savvy and you say, I don't want to buy it with debt. I'm going to buy it with cash. Why do I need $25,000 to buy a $5,000 purse? Here's the reason why. If you have $5,000 in your bank account and you want to buy a $5,000 purse, a $5,000 watch, a $5,000 vacation, you're going to spend all of your money on this expensive, dumb thing. Well, here's the thing. If you want to support your family, you better have some money to do so. Because if the economy goes to crap tomorrow, if we enter a recession tomorrow, if you lose your job tomorrow, if something happens to your company tomorrow, then what? Your wife's got to eat. Your kids need a roof over their head. How are you going to pay for that? What are you going to do? Well, you spend all of your money on a dumb watch, a dumb purse, a dumb vacation, now what? And so when you spend all the money you have...
Basically saying, hey, get your ducks in a row, Make sure you are stable. So if this happens, you're not like, oh, I have no money. I can't put a roof over my head. I can't feed my family. That's definitely a very good, important advice to be giving. I agree.
On dumb things to look rich, you're putting more emphasis, more focus, more energy on what other people think of you, what other people think of your lifestyle, than you are on your real ability to build wealth.
Yep.
And so many people in America today have no confidence in themselves. They have no sense of self-esteem, that they're so worried about what other people are going to say or think.
It doesn't matter what they think.
We're going into debt.
Yeah.
To look
You're not
like
paying your bills. You're paying your bills.
Go into debt. To look like a certain lifestyle. To look like I live happy. To look like things are great. But you're doing it for them. You're not doing it for you. You're not doing it for your kids. You're not doing it for their college. You're not doing it for your wife. You're not doing it for your husband. You're doing it for them. And they really don't care. They might talk about it for 5 minutes, but they really don't care. And so you have to remember, what is important to you? Is it you building your wealth, or is it trying to look rich? Because one of the funniest, ironicest things is people would rather look rich than actually be rich. Because in order to actually be rich, you got to go through the period of not looking rich. You got to put in the sacrifice. Because in order to become rich, look, I'm going to break it down. It's very simple. You want to become wealthy, you don't spend all of your money. You take the money you don't spend, you save some of it for an emergency. You take the other portion and you invest it. And you just keep investing that money. The more money you invest, The more aggressively you invest, the wealthier you will become. Yes, we will see a market crash. Yes, we will see a recession. Yes, we will see layoffs happen. Yes, we will see markets boom.
Yep.
You just keep investing through all of it. Because many people just throw their money into investments thinking that it's going to double tomorrow. Everybody assumes that investments should double. So we have this like crazy perception about the world. That number one, you have these people that say, I deserve the nice things because I work hard and I deserve to have all this expensive stuff that I can't afford.
Right.
Look, we don't live in La La Land, okay? Your bank account will dictate what you can afford, period. And if you want to have those nice things, great.
Yeah, people don't have patience anymore.
Afford it.
People just want it
That requires
immediately. They want it now.
It's not easy, but it is possible. Then you have the people that get into investing that say, yeah, you're right. Okay, I'm gonna invest my money and I'm gonna build web wealth. The stock market's rigged. The stock market's scammed. It's ruined by all these people in Wall Street. And so now you hope that you can find these hidden gems of investments that will double your money in 60 days, or that will give you these huge returns, or that only go
There's no
up.
shortcuts in investing.
And then when things start to go down, you're the one that panics and you freak out and you don't understand why. Now you think everything else is rigged or scammed, or then you start falling into the get rich quick systems and schemes because you want everybody to tell you how to get rich without having to actually do the work.
Right.
When in reality, building wealth is not always that exciting. Spend less money, invest more money.
Yeah, and I would even argue when you're investing, you should be prepared to lose it all. You know, you need to be comfortable in the fact that if you invest $10,000, you've got a fallback plan where you don't care if you've lost that $10,000, and you don't need to necessarily go invest 10,000 now. Like, start small. Let's say you have no savings, go save $150, throw 20 into an investment. You can use Robinhood and invest and do any amount of money, and then that way if you lose it, it's like, okay, $20, no big deal. Then you have 300, you go invest another 20. It will build up over time. Like in a year, you'll get like what? If you invested $20 a month, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20. That's $240 a year. You know, that's money that's doing work for you that you don't have to. I mean, it's not a lot of money, but it's something. You're doing something. It's better than doing nothing.
Period. Now, of course, you can get more nitty gritty. It's just like getting in shape. Getting in shape starts with doing the simple. Put down the Twinkies, the ho-hos, and the donuts and get on a treadmill.
Yep.
When you do that, now you can start to get a little bit more nitty gritty. Maybe you do more high intensity exercises. Maybe you do weightlifting. Maybe you do sprints. Maybe you do other things in the gym. And maybe you now start to work a little bit more on your diet, depending on how much of a health nut you want to be.
Right.
It's the same thing with finance. It's the same thing with money.
You get out what you
Start
put
with
into
the basics.
it. Right.
Stop spending dumb money you don't have. Stop going into debt to finance things that are not putting any money in your pocket. Stop putting money into buy now, pay later. Affirm was interviewed by Fortune.
Yep.
Affirm is a buy now, pay later company. And what they just said is they have broken a record
Oh,
in the
jeez.
number of customers because people keep coming back and more
crazy,
people are
yeah.
using them. Affirm is a buy now, pay later system which allows you to buy your groceries, to buy clothes, to buy whatever the heck
That's
you
so
want,
bad.
and pay for it in installments. And what we're seeing is more and more people are buying everything in installments. You want to buy clothes? Buy it off in 4 easy payments. You want to buy groceries? Pay off the Walmart payment in 4 easy payments.
That's
You want to buy
crazy.
Gucci?
I would never
We can help you with that.
buy
Buy it off in
groceries in
installments.
payments.
And what we're seeing is that these buy now, pay later
Getting in the
companies
habit of
are booming.
staying in
And this
debt.
one really, you can start to see the heartstrings start to get pulled in different directions. I own a financial media company. I get a lot of opportunities to invest in startups. I invest in startups. And one industry that I have not invested in for startups is the buy now, pay later industry. It has been one of the fastest growing, one of the most booming industries in fintech.
Yeah, and you could make a lot
The
of money
reason
out
why I
of
don't want to invest in it, because for buy now, pay later to really work, that means you have to have a whole bunch of dumb people using the service that are
Yup.
spending money they don't have and spending aggressively and then getting caught up in late fees and fines and penalties. And here's what Affirm's COO, Chief Operating Officer, had to say. Everything we
Yikes.
see suggests that the consumer feels like they want to be out spending. Why? Because Affirm benefits when people spend money. They benefit when you go out and
Yup.
spend money. And this is where you gotta understand
They make
how
money
the
when you
system
spend
works and be
money.
able to use it in your favor. It's the same thing with credit cards. Credit card companies have been always under heat because people are in credit card debt. We have the most credit card debt ever.
Actually, no,
Look,
wait.
if you know how to use a credit card,
Yeah,
you
it's
can
like
use a
halfway
credit
through.
card to your advantage.
Exactly.
If you don't
Exactly, yeah.
spend money you wouldn't normally spend, and you use a credit card as a medium of exchange, use a credit card just to swipe and make the purchase. Now, it doesn't matter if you're using a debit card, a credit card, or cash.
And then I would also say pay it off immediately or pay it off before the end of the month. Pay it off. It will accrue interest, and that's money you're losing. Credit cards, I agree, can be a great source to build, to build good habits. I wouldn't even say wealth. To build good financial habits, you can do it. But that's why I tell people, don't get 1,000. Don't like if you have no money. I don't even think you should have a credit card. That's just me. If you are broke and you have no savings, I don't think you should even be using a credit card because you're gonna get tempted. It's always there. It's always ready for you to use whenever you want. You can have it now, and it's tempting. I wouldn't even recommend it if you had no money. If you had like 500 in the bank, I would say get a $250 credit limit if you can, maybe 500. Because actually, just get a 500 limit. Tell your bank, okay, I want a 500 limit. I'm going to have this limit. And then you can start, that's the thing, build good habits. If you start building good financial habits, it'll be easier down the road to save and to do these things. But it starts with you building the good habits.
The problem is people use a credit card as an ATM machine.
Yep, exactly.
As a way to get some free money.
Exactly, and it's not free.
And now you got to pay the credit card company with interest.
Yeah.
You're the reason that those credit card companies are making billions and billions and billions
sometimes
of
they
dollars. You're the
charge you
reason that they get to fly
200,
around in private jets and
300%,
have these
depending
big
on where
fancy
you get it
offices.
from.
You're the reason that credit card users that are smart get the nice perks, the hotel upgrades, the airline upgrades, the car upgrades, the cash back. Somebody's got to pay for it. And it's the customers that are paying the credit card companies. And this is where you got to
People that are
understand.
stuck in debt.
It's not wrong to spend money.
Cycle.
It's not wrong to have nice things. It's not wrong to want nice things, but you gotta be able to afford it. And yes, there are people and entities in the system that profit off of you being financially stupid. They profit off of you being financially dumb. They profit off of you being financially uneducated. We're not taught financial education. We're not taught what to do. But
and again, I'm in no means a financial advisor. I'm just going to state this multiple times. So, don't get mad at me if what I say you do blows up in your face. But I'm always saying build good habits. If you're going to have a credit card, if you don't have savings, I personally wouldn't get a credit card. But if you have some savings, make sure it's half. If you can't do half, it's exactly what you have saved. That way, if you do mess up, you can pay it off. But you gotta have that discipline, and you also have to sacrifice. It is discipline and sacrifice. You have to really think about it, because discipline meaning you're not just gonna use it every time you want to buy something, because it's immediate and you can pay it off later. Oh, I can pay it off later. You're gonna talk yourself into doing it. I've done it. You need to be like, oh no, I can't afford it, even if I have a credit card. Nope. Put the card in your pocket. Don't use it. If you don't think you can do that, snip your card, pay off the bill, and don't do it. But anyways,
if you want to build wealth,
I just want to make it clear.
it really just
really
starts with
clear.
you
I'm not a
saying,
financial advisor.
I'm going to change this. I'm going to stop spending my money.
Yep.
And I'm going to stop caring about what other people think. This channel is called the Minority Mindset because all success
I love this channel.
starts with
I'm
your
selling
mindset.
a lot of his stuff.
If you don't have the right
Helped me
mindset,
a
it is
lot.
going to be impossible for you to build wealth. You have to stop caring about what other people think, and you have to start caring about what's better for you and your family and your wealth and your community.
You just have to be a little selfish. You have
because
to think
if
about
you're so
yourself.
caught up with what other people are going to think, now you're spending money you don't have just to make them feel jealous of you.
Yeah, and what's that
You're the one that's
accomplishing?
going to pay the interest.
Exactly.
Your kids are the ones that are going to pay the interest. And now you got to decide, do you want to build a generational wealth or do you want to build a generational poverty? And it starts in your mindset before it hits your bank account. But it is possible. If you live in a first world country, you have more accessibility, more resources on your fingertips than anybody else.
Yeah, the internet is a powerful
People
tool.
in other parts
Look
of the
up
world
ways
would
to make
risk
money.
their lives, literally, to come to a place like America and have the opportunities that you have here. Don't throw it away. Is it harder for some people than others?
Yes.
You bet it is.
Yeah.
Is the
For
game
sure.
rigged for some people? Absolutely. Is it impossible? Heck no. And if you're willing to put in the work, now it's time for you to understand, look, it's going to take sacrifice. I know a lot of people like to sell this whole get rich without working, get rich while working on a laptop
Yep.
on the beach. It doesn't work like that.
Nope.
At least I haven't seen it work like that. It takes hard work. You're going to have to work a lot. You're going to have to make sacrifices. But if you do it, I call it a decade of sacrifice. If you stick with it for a decade of sacrifice,
Yep.
you're not going to recognize how far you have come financially. If you put in that work to live smaller and earn more money and invest that money, we will see a recession. Don't say I didn't tell you. We will
It's gonna
see a
happen
market
eventually,
crash.
yeah, for sure.
Don't say I didn't tell you. But use those
Just
as
a matter of
opportunities to
when.
keep investing. That's where the real wealth is built. Because a lot of people use it as time to panic and sell at the bottom. But that's where the opportunity is for you to come in, be smarter, and invest. Keep buying when everybody else is running away. But you got to start building that financial education and stop falling into the same traps that are keeping so many people broke. I didn't even focus on the article. I just kind of went off my own tangent.
Man, I mean, hey, we all do it. We all do it. No worries, man. Yeah, and I would just to add to that, I would say invest in things you think are gonna be beneficial in the future, right? Because I mean, I wish I was making money when Amazon was a thing. I was like 5 or 6 when Amazon was a thing, I wasn't making money, man. But those people who invest in Amazon, they're millionaires now, probably even billionaires. People who invest in Apple, they're millionaires, probably billionaires now too. Like, it's not always like it's never a guarantee when you invest in the stock market, but invest a little bit, do a little bit, just baby steps, baby steps. Do $20, then 50, then 100, then 150, or then 200, and you build it up. You don't need to be like, oh, I need $10 million right now. I need to do it right now. I need to get rich. Like, baby steps. I had to live in a crappy studio apartment that the AC unit was attached to the window and bugs got in all the time. Rent was cheap. It was a place for me to stay and sleep. Sometimes you just got to make those sacrifices, you know? I had a roof over my head, I had food in my belly, and I had extra money I could invest, and that was a great opportunity for me. And I didn't squander it. And now I'm in this bigger place. Now, is it where I want to be? No, I would love to be in a cabin in the woods, off the grid, away from people, because I'm not a huge people person, but I do agree with him.
One of the things that the article talked
Doesn't
about
mean I hate people,
was
though.
how people are
Yeah.
downsizing their grocery shopping. They're
hmm
going from Whole Foods to Walmart so they can keep driving fancy cars. This is the type of things that we're
Get rid of your car. Seriously, you don't need a fancy car. Just sell your car and get a freaking Jeep or something. I don't know. Holy Hannah, that is
seeing in
insane
the
to me.
National Retail Federation.
Like, if you can't afford a luxury car, you go sell it and get into something cheaper. There's plenty of used cars that you can get for 15, 20,000 if you have a luxury car, right? Why not pocket that money? And I think that's what he's talking about.
Is predicting people are going to ramp up their holiday shopping in November and December because of how aggressively people are
Sucks.
spending
I
and
haven't
going
been
into
able
debt to
to
spend.
buy Christmas gifts because I've been
And
poor.
so this is where
Just have to tell
people are
people,
very
sorry,
excited about what's happening. People are
can't buy you
spending money,
Christmas gifts.
but there's always going to be a breaking point where people can't keep spending more money, and you want to be
Yeah,
prepared.
exactly.
You want to be
Yeah.
prepared to, number one, take care of yourself and your family and your community. Then you want to be prepared to capitalize on opportunities, because unfortunately, the system profits when a whole bunch of people are not very financially smart. I want
Yeah,
you to be financially
exactly.
smart and understand how you can take care of yourself, your family, and your community. And if you want some additional
Almost done.
resources,
I'm
again,
gonna
Market Briefs
recap
is a
when this
free
is done.
newsletter that I created. My team publishes it every day, 6 times a week, where we break down what's happening in the financial markets, from the economy to the stock market to the housing market to crypto to the global economy. You can read it in less than 5 minutes every morning, and it's completely free. If you have not joined Market Briefs yet, I got the link for you to join down in the description below. I went completely off script here, so I appreciate you guys' patience with me, but I feel like this is something I just need to get off my chest, because you keep seeing people do dumb things.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's trying to help people, and I've watched his content for a bit. I really like what he talks about. I've applied a few of his things in my life, and I'm not perfect by any means. I still make mistakes. I went over my budget one time and I had to pay the price. You're gonna make mistakes, but if you save the money, it won't hurt as much. It won't be as painful. Uh, there was a time and a point in my life where I was living paycheck to paycheck because I would just spend my money, didn't care, didn't have a care in the world. I was like, I'm never gonna retire anyways. Spend, 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 spend. And eventually, once I got my 30s, it's like, okay, I want to eventually retire. It might be too late for me, but doesn't mean I'm not gonna try. I'm invested into Google's, I think it's like Alphabet A or something like that. I invested into that. That's the company that makes the Waymos, right? They make the self-driving cars. I think AI and self-driving cars are the future. I'm going to start investing in those companies. Even if you only invest $300, if that company becomes a multi-trillion-dollar company, that's like a huge gain. You're still making money. You're making money. Why does it matter? And you can just keep throwing money into that. I would. It's a gamble. It's a gamble when you invest. You need to, in my opinion, you need to be comfortable with losing that money because you could lose it. It's possible. You could lose all of your money. It's just a reality that you have to deal with. And right now, I can't afford to lose over $300. I'm okay with losing that, but at least I'm doing something. And you can do something too. You can start putting these steps in your life. I'm on the baby steps still, but yeah, for sure, I agree with him. And I'm gonna put Minority Mindset right here in the channel, man. It's a good channel. Go watch it. Thanks.